This is Indiana High School Softball on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Brought to you in part by Culver's Portside Marina, NEPCO, Crane and Equipment Services, Farm Fertilizers, First Farmers Bank and Trust, Lawrence Farms, Mark's Body Shop in Knox, Zingo Express, Pulaski Memorial Hospital, Stark County Co-op, The Auto Park with locations in LaPorte, Plymouth, and Bremen, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Collins Insurance, Howard's Marathon of Winnemac, and 5 Star. The KVB pregame show with Mitch Columbi is next.
The next offering swung on and popped. Deep hit, and it's going to be gone. A big-time home run.
Five Star, the largest meat and grocery store in the area, focused on quality, value, and customer service. The 5 stars in the name of the store come from 5 family members of the original owner serving in World War II, each one represented by a blue star on a flag hanging in the front window of the family home. That's why even decades later, 5 Star is known for its dedication to service. Now that dedication means savings for you. 5 Star, one of the We Care stores, the area's largest meat and grocery store, focused on quality, value, and customer service. Located, you know where, in the Knox Mall.
Big time
That's the
hit,
game.
and that's going to be a walk-off RBI single. Swung on, chopper to third. Here comes the go-ahead run. It's over the head of the center fielder, and it's a home run.
Oh, my
goodness.
Homer. Welcome to the KVB pregame show. Now, here is the voice of KVB's WKVI Sports, Mitch Columbi.
The new era continues here on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Tonight, 2 of our area teams clash as the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays host the South Central Satellites. This is Indiana High School Softball. With us tonight, breaking things down and analyzing play on the diamond, our sports analyst, Nathan Origer. Hey, I'm Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues. This is KVB's WKVI Sports. And we welcome you to Blue Jay Softball Field in North Judson, Indiana, 46366. We are back for more as we are set to continue the new era of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting Sports on 99.3 FM and around the world, streaming live on WKVI.com. You can book it as we get ready for our 4th softball broadcast of the 2024 spring sports season. We have talked with both head coaches for the Blue Jays, Gary Baxter and Tony Wallace of the Satellites on the Saturday Sports Line. We have seen the Lady Jays in action once, but we have yet to see these Lady Satellites from South Central. When we look at the Satellites, head coach Tony Wallace and his club have really been outstanding this season. They went 9-1 through the first 10 games. Notable wins during that stretch came against Winnemac, Plymouth, Jimtown, LaVille, Couts, and Washington Township, just to name a few. The last 9 matchups, they have gone 8-1. The lone loss, coming to conference foe Hebron on the road, 5-0. The Satellites come into today's contest and an amazing 17-2 on the year and 5-1 in Porter County Conference play. Leading the team, swinging the bats for the Satellites is Grace Shikaitis. Grace Shakaitis averaging a 480 at the plate. Right behind her is Lexi Johnson batting a 441 up to this point. Rounding out the top three is Tinley Werner, also averaging a 397 at the plate. As a team, the Satellites are hitting a 331 batting average on 167 hits, 156 runs, 125 RBIs, while striking out 109 times. For the pitching, the Satellites have used 3 different arms through the 120 innings pitched. They have an ERA rating of an outstanding 0.93. They have allowed 69 hits, 37 runs, and have struck out their opponents 224 times. With us this evening, breaking things down and analyzing play on the diamond, we are honored to have Nathan Orgers, our sports analyst. He is on double duty tonight, as he is also the voice of Lady J softball and will be the public address announcer on top of being on air with us. Nathan, we appreciate you showing off your multitasking skills this evening. How are you?
Well, I'll be honest, I am less optimistic about my ability not to mess this up than you are, but I appreciate the faith you've shown in me, Mitch. We'll see how it goes. But no, it's a beautiful day for softball, so I am in a fantastic mood, and I'm happy to be back on the radio with WKVI.
Yeah, it couldn't be any better. These two teams come into today ready to go, but your thoughts on the Satellites after hearing that quick rundown?
You know, they are just going to be a serious challenge for the Lady Jays. Decent offensive stats, but honestly, if I were just looking at batting, I would probably put the Lady Jays up against them toe-to-toe. But the pitching record, I mean, Lexi Johnson is 12-2, and that's going to be it's going to be probably one of the toughest pitchers, if not the toughest pitcher the Jays have seen all season.
Well, and correct me if I'm, we had just heard a moment ago she's 2 strikeouts away from breaking the school record, but yet South Central had posted on their social media sites just last week that Lexi Johnson, the junior pitcher, has set the school record for most career strikeouts. She topped 400 career strikeouts. This was 4 days ago, so I don't know if maybe there's some numbers that maybe are off between the school and maybe the coaching staff, but either way, she is right there as the leading strikeout pitcher at South Central as a junior.
It feels, for me, a Cubs fan, it feels really appropriate that we may be seeing some South Central school history on this very day, because it was this day, the 6th of May, back in 1998, when former Cubs phenom Kerry Wood, in his rookie year, struck out 20 of 27 batters.
Wow.
As a rookie. That would
May 6th.
May 6th. It was my dad was in the tractor. It was the last spring he ever planted corn, and he was listening to the game on the radio on his tractor.
And he heard it.
Yep.
Wow. Well, we may be in store for what could be a historic evening for the South Central Lady Satellite pitcher and Lexi Johnson, but we turn the page and look at the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays. Head coach Gary Baxter and his Lady Jays started their 2024 campaign on April 5th against Westville and won 7-3. They then traveled to North White and won 9-5 before losing to Casson on the 16th, 13-2. Then they beat conference foe LaVille and won big time, 22-0. They beat Frontier on the road 13-0. They hosted Culver Military Academy and won 15-5. They then fell to North Newton 10-0 and then fell to Pioneer in a close one 13-11. We saw them take a tough loss to Winnemac on the road 9-0. They then fell to North Miami on the road 19-9 before picking up a much-needed win against Oregon Davis 20-1. Last Thursday, they fell to Rensselaer Central 7-4, then beat South Newton in a doubleheader, Game 1 12-1 and Game 2 17-7. The Lady Jays come into today's contest at 8-6 on the year and 1-3 in Hoosier North Athletic Conference play. Leading the team, swinging the bats for the Lady Jays is Anna Garbison. She's averaging a 486 at the plate. Right behind her is Brandy Frederick, batting a 462 up to this point, and then rounding out the top 3 is Reagan Hensley. She's averaging a 406 at the plate. As a team, these Jays are hitting a very good .350 batting average on 107 hits, 116 runs, 72 RBIs, while striking out 88 times. For the pitching, the Jays have used 4 different arms through the 68.1 innings pitched. They have an ERA rating of 3.69. They have allowed 96 hits, 92 runs, and have struck out their opponents 73 times. Your thoughts on the Lady Jays?
So, you just noted that it's not as impressive as the Satellites, but the Lady Jays have a fairly respectable team ERA. And like I said a moment ago, I would put them toe-to-toe on offense alone. They're going to have to dig in a little deeper in the batter's box against Lexi Johnson. But I think what really is going to make the difference is how the Lady Jays handle the weather. You look at the record and you look at that respectably ERA, and you know something isn't clicking. And honestly, if you ask Coach Baxter, I think he would tell you more than anything, it's been the defense. Molly has pitched a lot of these innings. Four young ladies have been on the rubber, but she has pitched the bulk of them. They've relied a lot on her, and it's tough. But it's been the defense that has really held them back. You mentioned that Rensselaer game on Thursday. That was just running out of gas. They put up a really valiant effort to come back, ended up loading the bases in the bottom of the 7th, and just couldn't convert. But I think if they can get the glove on the ball, they will put up a decent effort against these satellites.
Well, and I think it's good to point out that Molly Madsen showing her toughness right now, playing through some injuries right now, at least an injury we do know about, but she is fighting through it right now and continues to do very well in the circle.
Yeah, I think it's a nerve injury, she was telling me, but she is a tough one.
She's fighting through it. Well, we are expecting a great evening of IHSAA softball action. We appreciate you joining us on the Coca-Cola pregame show. Taste the feeling. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. The Pulaski Memorial Hospital Injury Report is next. You are listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere. Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox. Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989. Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Who's in? Who's out? It's the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Injury Report with Mitch Columbi. Mitch?
Thank you, Mr. John Thompson. The Pulaski Memorial Hospital has been serving lives of the residents of Pulaski County and the surrounding area since 1963. Hey, we appreciate them supporting local high school sports. We are lucky to say, though, no injuries to report tonight, as that is our Pulaski Memorial Hospital Injury Report. Stay tuned. We will hear from Tony Wallace of the Satellites and Gary Baxter of the Lady Jays after the break. That's in the KVB Coaches Corner. You are listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Stay tuned for America's Pastime with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
It's time to hear from the coaches in the KVB Coaches Corner. Here's Mitch Columbi.
I'm here with head coach of the South Central Satellites Softball Club, Coach Tony Wallace. Coach, come into today against the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays. What have you prepared your girls for to see from the Lady Jays?
We're expecting to see some good pitching today and some credible defense. So we're hoping that we can handle both of those.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I saw the big news of Lexi Johnson breaking the record, career strikeouts. Unbelievable there. Talk about her a minute. I know we're going to see her on the circle today.
Lexi's been outstanding this year. She's pitched greater than our expectations, just like our team has done better than our expectations going into it. But she's a real trooper out there, and she guts it down, and she does a fantastic job on the mound. We're expecting great things out of her today.
Message to Satellite Nation who may be listening.
I think it's going to be a good game. Stay tuned.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hey folks, Auto Park Fort LaPorte has got some news for you. We now have the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles in LaPorte County. So if you're in the market, come and check us out because right now is the best time to trade in your current vehicle. Not interested in purchasing a vehicle? That's okay. We'll buy yours even if you don't buy ours. Not currently in the market, but your car needs serviced? Come check out our newly renovated service department and let them take care of all your service needs. And remember, we're not just an auto dealer, we're an auto park.
I am here with head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jay Softball Club, Gary Baxter. Coach, come into today a very talented South Central team. What is it that you know about them you can share with us?
Well, I know they're a good hitting club, and they have a really good pitcher on their hands. They're just annually, they're good every year. So I know they're very talented, and you can't make mistakes against them or they're going to win the game very early.
What's something you definitely want to see from your girls out on the diamond?
Just hustle and not giving up. We've been struggling lately, so to see our team just play the game and not worry about mistakes or anything that gets messed up, just play through the game, play through the errors, play through the mistakes, and just play Blue Jay softball. Message to Blue Jay Nation who may be listening. We're trending the way we want to. I know we had a little bit of a lull here, but we're getting back on track, and we're preparing for sectionals, and we're ready to go. Appreciate your time, Coach. Good luck. Thank you.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392.
Time now for the Keys to the Game, sponsored by the Auto Park with locations in LaPorte, Plymouth, and Bremen.
All right, as we get set for Indiana High School softball action, what are your keys to the game as a North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jay?
Well, Mitch, I think there are two keys, and Coach Baxter kind of hit at it in the pregame interview. They need not to make so many errors, but when they make the errors, they need not to get stuck in their own heads after them. They need to be able to move on, but they've got to have that leather on the glove. And they're a very good hitting team, but I'm not sure that they've seen anyone pitching the way Lexi Johnson has pitched, and so they really need to steel themselves and be prepared to see some pitching at a caliber that is maybe not familiar to them and just swing the bat at good pitches.
All right, flip sides. If you are the South Central Lady Satellites, what do you want to see on the diamond?
Honestly, they're just playing softball. They are just coming out and doing what they do so well. I don't think there's any magical trick. I think it's just playing the game they've been playing all year to such great results.
Point blank, period, simple. That's our keys to the game, sponsored by the Auto Park with locations in LaPorte, Plymouth, and Bremen. Time to sit back, pop open an ice cold Coke, and chill. The Coca-Cola pregame show continues. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVR.
BP gasoline with Invigorate helps clean your engine and can give you more miles per tank. Continuous use may result in the following pleasant side effects: excessive smiling, feeling more relaxed, taking more drives just because, volunteering for carpool twice in a row, and bragging to your friends about how you use our best fuel ever. To find out if BP gasoline with Invigorate is right for you, stop by your local station to discover our best fuel ever. Versus minimum detergent gas, average restored 3 to 5 miles per tank, based on fleet testing and based on what you drive and how you drive.
High school sports brought to you by Zingo Express.
Now it's time for the KVB starting lineups.
For the Lady Jays in the field to start today, we will see Emma Baxter in left field, Anna Garbison is in center field, and Olivia Tim is in right field. The infield shows Virginia Chambers at third base, Brandy Frederick at second, Reagan Hensley is at first base, Kenya Cooper will be the shortstop, Sophia Chafin's behind home plate as the catcher, and Molly Madsen gets the call to start on the mound in this one. For the Lady Jays, for the Lady Satellites, Their batting order shows the shortstop, Valerie Horn, leading off, then pitcher Lexi Johnson, then right fielder Tinley Warner, and the center fielder Kendall Rosenbaum is the cleanup hitter. Batting fifth will be second baseman Brooke Pereira, then catcher Grace Shakaitis. Third baseman Taylor Bachman bats seventh. First baseman Marley Cavender is at the 8 slot, and at the bottom of the lineup we will see designated player Lainey Jenkins. That is our starting lineups for today, as we will be back to get set for the first pitch. You are listening to KVB's WKVI.
Stay tuned for America's Pastime with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Culver's Portside Marina handles all water and recreational needs. When it comes to pontoons, Godfrey leads the industry in performance and quality, and Portside Marina has them in stock. From Sanpan, Aqua Patio, Sweetwater, and Monaco pontoons, if you're looking for a family boat, Culver's Portside Marina can help. Discover the evolution of the wake boat through luxury models offered from Centurion and Supreme Surf Boats. Yamaha Wave Runners and Kawasaki jet skis are on the showroom floor waiting. Located at 514 West Mill Street in Culver. Stop in or call them at 574-842-5000. Culver's Portside Marina.
The tradition continues with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
From North Judson, Indiana, welcome to game number 10 of our 2024 Spring Sports broadcast season, to see the South Central Satellites take on the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays. I am Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues here on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting, as WKVI will always be there. You can stay up to speed on local high school sports in this area by following us on social media. We are on Instagram at WKVI Sports, on X, formerly Twitter, at KVB Sports, and on Facebook at Sports to the Max for all Kankakee Valley Broadcasting sports content. You can listen to us on your phone. Just go to one of our social media sites I mentioned and tap the link on our page. We are literally in the palm of your hand. Well, we are proud to let you know the public address announcer today at Blue Jay softball field is Nathan Orger. The scoreboard operators, I should say, are Taylor Lehigh and Carolina Lozano. Our umpires for this evening are Dan Ellenwood and Randall Williams. With us this afternoon, we are honored to have sports analyst Nathan Orger along for the call. And like I mentioned, I'm Mitch Columbi, proud to be doing the play-by-play as we are set for Indiana high school softball action from North Judson, Indiana. Well, so far, so good, Nathan, on your end?
Hey, so far so good, my friend.
So far so good. We made it here. We've made it to this point. The Satellites are out warming up. We see Lexi Johnson. She gets the velocity going, Nathan. Just a few pitches we've seen her throw, man. She gets it going.
I do not envy her catcher, Grace Shakaitis. Not one bit.
I mean, she can rip it in there, of course, and she's even got a little face
I was just
going
noticing
on.
It's a little intimidating.
It's a little intimidating, you know. She's ready for war. She is ready to battle, you know, and we talked to her last year. She was one of our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week. And when we talked to her last year, she made it very clear to me that this is her sport. She loves softball. They were able to get her to come out for basketball this season, which I was very surprised. First game we see her, 3-ball, 3-ball, 3-ball. She just is some kind of athlete at South Central. Seems like they breed athletes there at South Central.
I kind of think you're right. There's something in that water in South Central LaPorte County.
There is something going on at Union Mills, but they're not going to tell you. They want to keep that a secret because, man, they just keep on rolling along. You heard head coach Baxter of North Judson say it's a year in and year out thing with these South Central Lady Satellites, especially when it comes to softball.
Yeah, it's hard to know what to say when you just see something this impressive as the way these young ladies have played this season. As much as in my capacity as the home PA guy, I want to see the Lady Jays take the W. I am really excited to watch these Satellites show us what they can do.
Absolutely. Well, we do remind you, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting is going to historic Wrigley Field to catch the Chicago Cubs take on the Cincinnati Reds Sunday, June 2nd. Hop on a chartered bus with us at KVB headquarters and be chauffeured all the way to the friendly confines. Enjoy all you can eat and drink. Yes, all you can eat and drink as we hang out on the historic rooftops. Call 574-772-6241 during regular business hours to save your seat and join us. KVB for Sunday Fun Day. Very excited for that big trip to Chicago to see the Cubs. Of course, I've always loved the Chicago Cubs. But, yes, I will be going on the trip, so come hang out with us. We want to have a good time. Sunday, June 2nd. Call us at 574-772-6241 to save your seat. Today's first pitch is brought to you in part by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac. We also appreciate them being the sponsor for the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week Award given out each week on the Saturday Sports Line. That's the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to our very own Harold Welter. Well, we were in North Judson on Saturday to see the Blue Jays Baseball Club take on the Culver Cavaliers in Game 2 of that doubleheader. We, of course, had Kevin Hannon on the call. Now here we are 2 days later on Monday. We're in North Judson again, but this time on the softball diamond. One of my first games I ever got to broadcast was actually here. First games I got to broadcast in softball, I should rephrase, was here at North Judson last year, and that was when you felt bad for me and said, hey, what, you're doing this alone, buddy?
Well, that is true, and
you shouldn't have said that because look where you're at now.
Well, if I recall correctly, what got me into this was that I actually announced to everybody in the stands that they could tune in.
Yes.
Their friends, family at home who couldn't make it out to the park could tune in, and ever since then, here we are.
Here we are. Well, I sure do appreciate you stepping. I know you're a busy guy down there in Pulaski.
No, I enjoy
County.
it. You know, you
Get you out of the office.
You just mentioned Web Printing and JT's Shirt Shack. I had the pleasure of running into Billy Webb while he was out for his morning jog this morning.
Wow.
Pulled off to the side of the road and talked to him for a little bit.
He's doing well?
He's doing Billy.
He's doing Billy.
He's Billy.
He is always so fun to chat with. Every time I go there, I end up talking to him for about 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, you're lucky.
And all I'm doing is just picking up
if it's
shirts.
just an hour.
Yeah. Well, I use hey, I got to get out of here. We got to go to more schools. So the Satellites are going through some final warm. Have the Lady Jays warmed up yet?
Yes,
on the
they
field?
have.
So the Lady Satellites got here a little bit later than they had anticipated to, so we pushed our start time back to accommodate for their warming up. Of course, each team gets how long on the field before the game? Is it 15 minutes or so?
About that.
So they each get the same amount of time to warm up. Of course, when the Lady Jays were warming up out on the field, you still see the Satellites to the side getting their arms loose, getting warmed up and ready. But now they take the field, and this is kind of an interesting thing we've never really talked about in the pregame show is, the coach usually tests out the outfield, the infield, gets them to throw home and stuff like that. It's interesting to watch every softball and baseball club's routine in the pregame. Everyone has their own philosophy, but kind of all the same thing. It's really the same.
Yeah, and I've been watching people do this since I was, 6 years old and doing it myself.
Warming up on the diamond. Well, we see both of our umpires here, Dan Ellenwood and Randall Williams. You said you know Dan.
I've gotten to know him. He's done a couple of games. He was actually here for that Rensselaer game just last week. He covered the bases for that game, and he will be calling balls and strikes this evening for us.
Yeah, very always good to have. I think it goes without saying, umpires, officials in general at the high school level are very, very much needed. It's a dying art these days.
It really is, and I'm always surprised when I learn how many different sports some of these umpires do, bouncing from football to basketball to baseball and softball. They keep themselves busy doing these games. They really do. And it is difficult sometimes just to remember all of the ins and outs of the rule book of one sport, let alone keeping yourself up to date on 2, 3, 4 sports rules. Trying to bounce from knowing when somebody's traveled in February to somebody's balked in April.
Right. You got to know
it's impressive.
You got to know your sports. That's definitely for sure. But definitely a dying art. You don't see very many, I shouldn't say ever, young individuals reffing, but it is a very rare occurrence when you see younger individuals
No, you're right.
reffing.
Actually, before Thursday's game, I was speaking with one of the umpires, and he had said something like, by his estimate, or maybe official AHSAA data, the average age of an umpire is around 55.
Yeah, see, there's going to have to be a time where we're going to have to figure that out, because they're not going to be around forever.
No, they're not, and it would be nice to see more younger officials coming in now when they can be paired with more seasoned veterans and learn the tricks of the trade. You know, I mean, you go through schooling, you got to pass the test, you book learn it, but it's always different when you're actually in the middle of the action and you are learning from the guys and the women who have been doing it. And so it would be nice to see an increase in younger officials across the sports.
Average age of 55. No, I mean, you're still very young at 55, but boy.
I don't know. My knees say I'm not young at 40, so by 55, I'm afraid.
Well, regardless, we definitely would like to see the next generation step forward and become officials. It's a very honored tradition here in the state of Indiana for its sports. Of course, football has really taken off. While a lot of people would say, myself included, this is a basketball state. It always will be. Football has really become huge in the state of Indiana. I've learned how much baseball and softball, especially here in the northern part of Indiana, is. This pocket of Indiana is really kind of special when it comes to the various amount of sports.
I wonder, I mean, I realize that if you get into southern, especially southeastern Indiana, you're getting close to the Reds, and northeastern Indiana, you're getting closer to the Tigers and the Indians. But I wonder if not just the geographic proximity of northwestern Indiana to Chicago and its two MLB teams, but how much of a cultural influence Chicago has had on the history of these communities. I mean,
this area.
You know, if you look at the original families in these areas, it was a lot of people from Eastern and Central Europe and Italy who came to Chicago and then found their way down here. And so I'm wondering if that might be some deep-seated anthropological explanation for why baseball is a bit stronger in this part of the state maybe than in some other parts.
No, and it's interesting, too, when we talked to several of the coaches in the area. Of course, we talked with Tri-Township head baseball coach Mike Shinrod. You know, he takes pride in the fact that, in his opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion in this area, the Porter County Conference is really one of the premier conferences when it comes to baseball.
Yeah, just, looking at the rankings in both baseball and softball, it's clear that that whole area stretching from,
they love it.
Hebron all the way to South Central is it's a pretty solid band of athletic programs.
Well, the satellites are still warming up. We're standing by for, I would believe, the national anthem as well as the starting lineups. We'll hand things off to our public address announcer here, Nathan Orger, just shortly. But very excited to have you pull double duty tonight, man. This is going to be fun.
You and I we'll reassess after the seventh inning, but
we'll see if we get the call from the GM.
Lenny and I are all right, I think.
Well, you guys go back several years.
Yes,
he says he's known you for quite a while.
I many years ago, when I was in high school, I worked in the grocery store here in town, raised superfoods with Julie, his wife.
I see.
And when I was home between college and grad school, I worked part-time in addition to working at the store, flipping houses and doing remodeling work with a neighbor. And Lenny's father-in-law, also named Lenny, helped out with the guy as well. So I got to know them even a little bit more back then. And, yeah, I've known Lenny and Julie for a long time.
Well, Lexi Johnson going through her final warm-up pitches here. It looks like they're throwing down and will be meeting at home plate here, which is about your time to shine here, Nathan.
Just another couple of minutes.
Well, like we had mentioned, we'll go through the starting lineups when we hand things off to Nathan, but like we did mention earlier, the South Central Satellites come into today at a very impressive 17-2 on the year, 5-1 in the Porter County Conference. They are right there at third place range in the PCC, but 17-2, I mean, my goodness, 5-1 in the conference. And then we talked about the Lady Jays in the Coca-Cola pregame show here. The Lady Jays come into today 8-6 2-6 on the year and 1-3 in Hoosier North Athletic Conference play. Looking at their schedule, they will be kind of diving in to the conference matchups very shortly here in this week. Of course, Wednesday is the rescheduled game between them and their historic county rival, the Knox Lady Redskins. We will, of course, be there for that game. We were originally scheduled to do the Culver hosting Knox softball game. They had rescheduled that game to fit the Jays in that day. Since we were already planning to be in Knox, we're going to continue to be in Knox. This time, instead of seeing the Culver Lady Cavaliers, we will see their historic rival, the North Judson-San Lady Blue Jays. So that's where we will be this coming Wednesday, while our schedule, like I said, says Culver at Knox. It is now North Judson-San Pierre at Knox. And man, whenever those two teams get together, that is really something special, no matter the sport. I think we've talked about it with sports director Terry Minix before. It doesn't matter if it's tiddlywinks. These two teams are special together. As we pause and hand things off to our public address announcer, Nathan Orger.
Quick reminder to any of you who may have friends, family, loved ones, annoying exes who couldn't join us today, they can listen to all the action on WKVI Radio 99.3 FM or online, WKVI on Linktree. We are glad you're here today, and it is time to meet our starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Satellites of South Central. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 2, Valerie Horn. Batting second and wearing number 20 on her back, the pitcher, Lexi Johnson. Batting third and wearing number 10, the senior right fielder, Tenley Werner. Hitting cleanup, the senior center fielder, number 1, Kendall Rosenbaum. Hitting fifth and wearing number 7, the second baseman, Brooke Pereira. Hitting sixth, the catcher, number 27, Grace Shakaitis. Batting seventh and manning the hot corner, number 13, senior Taylor Bachman. Batting eighth and wearing number 19, the first baseman, Marley Cavender. Hitting ninth and wearing 9, the designated player, Lainey Jenkins. And at the flex position, the left fielder, number 14, Taylor Cleet. The Lady Satellites, they are coached by the one, the only, Tony Wallace. And now, the starting lineup for your North Judson-San Lady Jays. Leading off, wearing number 22, the backstop, Sophia Chafin. Batting second, wearing number 3, senior first baseman, Reagan Hensley. Batting third, playing shortstop, number 24, Kenya Cooper. Hitting cleanup, wearing lucky number 13, the senior center fielder, Anna Garbison. Batting fifth and wearing number 1, the senior second baseman, Brandy Frederick. Batting sixth on the rubber for the Jays, number 7, Molly Madsen. Batting seventh and playing third, number 11, Virginia Chambers. Hitting eighth, wearing number 23, the senior left fielder, Emma Baxter. And batting ninth in right field, number 17, Olivia Tim. The Lady Jays are coached by one of my first ever bandmates, Gary Baxter. Our umpires for today are Dan Ellenwood, calling balls and strikes, and on the bases, Randy Macho Man Williams. We ask you now to rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And it's time for softball, the game God had to invent because baseball was just too easy.
Every morning, join Rich Wallen on the WKVI Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central. Catch local news as well for our area with Kankakee Valley Broadcasting News Director Anita Gooden, who covers news on WYMR and WKVI. Catch our stories on WKVI.com and Max983.net to stay up to speed in your local area. If that doesn't get your blood boiling and pumped up, ready to go, I don't know what will. You may need to check your pulse. We are so excited for this matchup between the South Central Satellites and the North Judson-San Lady Blue Jays. We're hanging out up top with a couple of students from North Judson-San Taylor Lehigh and Carolina Lozano. They are running the scoreboard as well as the music here, keeping everybody pumped up and excited, along with Nathan Origer. My gosh, man, where did that come from?
Hey, man, that is me every home game.
I love it.
Got to have slightly different personae between the hometown announcer and the
radio
unbiased radio guy.
I know.
So I got to get all that energy out when I can.
Well, I thought you did a very good job for the Satellites as well.
Always. Got to be fair. Got to be fair. Got to get them all pumped.
Well, and I love it. Randy Macho Man Williams, he's out there making it look easy from out in the field. So here we go. First up for the South Central Lady Satellites, it's Valerie Horn to face off against the number one ace for the Lady Jays, Molly Madsen. Molly comes in as a sophomore this year, doing very well in the circle. Her first pitch is swung on and missed. Strike one for Valerie Horn.
That was the second pitch.
That was the second one.
She took a strike, I believe, for the first one.
So
0-2 quickly. Yep.
I missed that one. My goodness.
Moving quickly
She
here.
is throwing them quick. The 0-2 is up top for ball one. Horn comes in today, a .321 batting average as the leadoff hitter for the Lady Satellites. You can bet she wants to get on base here and right now in the top of the first. The 1-2. Popped up high, and it will be fielded by the shortstop for the Lady Jays, Kenya Cooper, for out number one. Good job there by the quick out. And now we're going to see Lexi Johnson step into the box for her first plate appearance of the afternoon. Lexi Johnson comes into today a very good hitter.
I think she started off coming in with a .441 average.
Yes.
And a .522 on base percentage, so she can get it done at the plate and on the rubber.
She takes the first pitch for a called ball. The right-handed hitter, Lexi Johnson, going up against the right-handed pitcher, Molly Madsen, a very tall 6'2". For a sophomore, she's quite the athlete. She deals. Popped up high by Lexi Johnson, and it will be fielded by the first baseman for the Lady Jays, Reagan Hensley, for out number two. That's exactly what you need to have happen right there. Molly Madsen in the circle on the mound for the Lady Jays, taking care of business. The Satellites are going to have some work to do in terms of catching up to speed on what Molly Madsen's delivering.
I mean, we're only 2 batters in, but 2 of their top hitters, and she is really showing that she's in control of her stuff early on.
She deals the first pitch to the third batter, Tinley Werner. Ball inside. Werner will step back in here. The 1-0. Swung on and popped up high, back to center field. 3 up and 3 down as the Lady Jays take care of business in the top of the first. We're going to take a break and come back. Bottom of the first action coming your way. You're listening to KVB's WKVI.
On the way home from the game, a deer jumps in front of your truck. And now you've got to get that truck repaired. Make it easy on yourself. Take it to Mark's Body Shop. Mark's has done expert auto body service since 1998 and will work with you and your insurance provider for collision repair, custom body paint, and insurance work. And all work guaranteed by owner Mark Schell. Mark's Body Shop, proud to support high school sports. 772-7003.
This afternoon's broadcast is brought to you in part by Nepco Crane and Equipment Services, specializing in mobile crane service. Call Joe Nepp at 1-800-590-2272 for all your residential, commercial, and agricultural crane needs. We go to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Mitch Columbia along with sports analyst Nathan Orger pulling double duty today as the PA announcer. You're listening to KVB's WKVI. Well, not a bad start defensively for the Jays.
No, 3 up, 3 down. Molly looks like she's feeling good early on, and that is got to be a good sign for the entire team. If she can control and command her pitches, give the defense a little bit of a break, the Lady Jays just need to put the bat on the ball.
Got out of the inning with only 8 pitches.
Not a bad start at all.
So now we will see Lexi Johnson for the first time today in the circle. Lexi Johnson, from what we were told or what we saw on social media, had already broken the career strikeout record at South Central from social media. But then we've been told by one of the assistant coaches she is 2 strikeouts away from, in fact, breaking that record. So we're not really sure what is right or what's wrong. Either way, she is on the cusp, if not already broken. Could do that here today. They're asking after the second strikeout they pause to announce the record. But here we go to start off. It hasn't happened yet. Sophia Chaffins will step into the box for the Lady Jays. First pitch offered from Johnson is inside, ball 1. Chaffins, she's led off most of the season. The last couple of games she's in the 2 spot, but back to her familiar territory, getting things started off for Coach Baxter and the Lady Jays today. The 1-0 from Johnson is up top for ball 2. Chaffins, a .312 batting average coming into today. This is her 44th plate appearance on the season. She'll step back in and look at the 2-0 from Johnson here. Maybe setting it up. The 2-0. There it is. Right down the pike. We don't have a pocket radar today, but my goodness, she is getting it in there
Yes,
quickly.
she is. She's pitching like she's got a hot date to get to tonight or studying for finals.
The 2-1 from Johnson. Foul tip hits the fence. Evens it up at 2-2 here. She has got that war paint on. Of course, it's to reflect the sun, but, man, it does look very intimidating.
It might be, but she's the only one on the diamond I see wearing it. I think this is more of an intimidation,
Ritual.
at least partially, ritual, intimidation.
And going down, swinging is Sophia Chaffins for out number 1. So there's Lexi Johnson flexing a little bit, showing us what she has here in the early going at the bottom of the first. We now see number 3, Reagan Hensley, the first baseman, step into the batter's box. First pitch offered from Johnson is swung on and missed. Just behind there, she can really get it going.
Yeah, and Hensley is one of the top 3 hitters for these Lady Jays. Came in with a .406 average and a .537 on-base percentage. She has been very reliable at first base and in the batter's box.
Really quite an all-around athlete. We remember Reagan Hensley on the basketball team during the winter season. doing very well here in the spring as the 1-1 is offered from Lexi Johnson, fouled down the left field line.
I will admit that I like to give her a hard time when they're warming up before games when she is scooping up ground balls. Coach Bachter's hitting. She likes to complain that she doesn't get a lot of that action. Not many lefties pulling to her during the game. So I give her a little bit of a hard time if she struggles scooping them up.
The 1-2 is a ball up top, evening it up at 2-2. I will say it does help the fact that, you know these individuals very well.
Yeah, I've spent, this is my third season with some of these young ladies.
And going down looking is Reagan Hensley. She didn't think it was going to hit the zone, but it does. And that is the second strikeout for Lexi Johnson. And we will now see the head coach, Tony Wallace, come out to congratulate Lexi Johnson. She's saving the ball. They're taking a picture there in the infield. She broke
on setting a new South Central strikeout record and handing her a game ball.
It really is.
Congratulations on this incredible feat.
Yeah. It really is amazing what she has accomplished. Over 400 career strikeouts. She's only a junior. She is only a junior.
That's actually a little bit terrifying how many more strikeouts she has left in her high school career.
Well, that was nice. You saw head coach Tony Wallace walk out there. They got the picture. Now it's official.
For the Lady Jays, this shortstop, number 24, Kenya.
So Kenya Cooper will step up to bat. Cooper comes into today. A .367 batting average. She takes the first pitch offered for a ball.
It's pretty impressive that with a .367 average, she's only got the fifth best batting average on the team.
Now, these Lady Jays and head coach Gary Baxter kind of alluded to it there in the KVB Coaches Corner. It's really just been late game things that have happened that have caused the Jays to have unfortunate mishaps late in the game. Other than that, he said the swinging's been just fine.
Bats have been on point all season.
The 2-0 from Johnson popped up, and it may be a blooper. It is a nice little duck snort into center field. And a base hit for Kenya Cooper. Good job by her. We'll now go to the cleanup spot. It'll be Anna Garbison, center fielder. So the Lady Jays have a runner on with 2 outs, bottom of the first. No score here. We'll see what the Lady Jays are able to do here with 2 outs. Johnson deals the first pitch. Foul tip hits the fence, making it 0-1.
Anna comes into this game hitting .486. You mentioned earlier an on-base percentage of .561.
That's good.
Yeah, almost 3 out of every 5 plate appearances she is getting on base. And, that is what you like to see especially in your cleanup hitter. You're expecting the power, the higher slugging percentage, but when you've got your cleanup hitter getting on base that often, you're doing something right.
Foul tips the 0-2. You kind of mentioned this in our pregame video for social media. While the Jays are hitting very well, they may have not seen a pitcher of this stature in Lexi Johnson.
Yeah, I've seen them face some decent pitchers, but Lexi Johnson is just next level, I think.
The 0-2 from John is up top. That's how fast she threw it. I barely was able to get her name out. She zips it in there. Ball up top makes it 1-2 now. With 2 outs and 1 on, the Jays are trying to make something happen here. The 1-2 is outside. They check down to first. That keeps Kenya Cooper at bay. 2-2 the count here. And Garbison steps back in. Johnson, she deals. Foul tip again. We've got a duel here between Lexi Johnson and the cleanup hitter, Anna Garbison.
Well, there aren't most of the Jays have been swinging their bats, but if there's somebody I want to see really tire Johnson down, it's going to be somebody like Garbison.
Saying 2-2 from Johnson. Swung on and popped foul over the fence. A nice souvenir for Satellite Nation. Keeps it 2-2. Fighting. Garbison. Johnson as well here. She deals. Low, just misses the zone.
That looked like it was close.
And you saw Lexi Johnson kind of stare down.
You know, and you kind of wonder in a situation like that if maybe the patience and the diligence Garbison has shown is maybe subconsciously entered into Ellenwood's mind as he's calling that. You know, I we're all humans, and I think umpires, when they see how the batter, the pitcher are handling a situation, that probably has some impact on some of those close pitches that could go either way.
The 3-2 was fouled off out of play again, so now here is the payoff from Johnson up top, and she will end up walking Garbison, and you saw her sigh
I think
there.
That was a 10-pitch at bat, if my count is correct.
I agree, yes. That's exactly what I had as well. She's up to, unofficially, I have in this inning 21. But now, stepping up, Brandy Frederick, the second baseman.
Brandy Frederick.
So 2 on, 1 in scoring position here in the bottom of the first. The Lady Jays have an opportunity to bring someone home, essentially. The first pitch offered from Johnson is fouled off.
And just as Garbison leads the team batting average and Frederick is the second best, Brandy leads the team in on-base percentage with Garbison right behind her. 588 on-base percentage.
You can kind of see why head coach Baxter has put this lineup together the way he has. As Johnson deals the 0-1, a foul tip hits the fence.
I've actually watched Brandy climb in the lineup over the course of the season as she has gotten more comfortable, and especially as some other issues on the field have led to her getting more playing time defensively and not just serving as the DP. And she's been capitalizing on it, I think.
Oh, and he says she does swing. I think she did a check swing, but the head umpire says no, that is strike number 3 and out number 3. Runners left stranded, no runs crossed. We're still scoreless here. We take a break and come back. Top of the second coming your way. You're listening to KVB's WKVI.
When you grow up on the land, you have an appreciation for it. When you grow up and work on a family farm, on land that is shared by members of a family, all working together as a team, that appreciation grows even more. They know what it's like to work as a team to get the job done. At Lawrence Farms of Knox, Todd and Josh Lawrence and family support the local high school teams and wish them success all through the season.
This afternoon's broadcast is brought to you in part by First Farmers Bank and Trust, providing state-of-the-art banking with old-fashioned service. We thank them for supporting local high school sports and helping continue the tradition on KVB's WKVI. We go to the second inning. Mitch Columbia along with sports analyst Nathan Orger. We're so glad you joined us as the tradition continues. These two teams of ours are in our area. We cover them both, the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays and the South Central Satellites. The Satellites, like we said, come into today a very impressive 17-2. The Lady Jays in 8-6 right now, but they are fighting these Lady Satellites. I think it's safe to say we are going to see a heck of a ball game at this point in time here. But now we see up to bat for the South Central Lady Satellites, number 1. It's Kendall Rosenbaum. So Rosenbaum steps in for her first plate appearance of the afternoon. Rosenbaum comes into today a .315 batting average. It's her 63rd plate appearance of the season.
You know, I am still really impressed just by how both of these pitchers survived that first inning, especially Molly. Lexi Johnson, she ended up striking out all 3 batters, but the Lady Jays made her work. By my count, 26 pitches in the first 2, Molly's 8. So this might be a competitive game we're watching.
First 2 pitches from Madsen are balls. Here's the 2-0 up top, gets away from her again. Now 3-0 behind in the count to Kendall Rosenbaum, the cleanup hitter. We'll see the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. It was a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the first for the Lady Jays. Or the Satellites, I should say, as now Madsen will unfortunately walk Rosenbaum, and Rosenbaum will take her base. It's now Brooke Pereira. the second baseman.
Number 7,
Brooke Pereira. She comes in today, a .265 average, 63rd plate appearance of the afternoon. Of the season, her first of the afternoon. My goodness, that'd be a long game.
And there goes,
foul tip. Yeah, right as it looks Pereira shows bunt, it foul tips. They were sending Rosenbaum the 2. She'll step back in. It's Pereira, the 0-1.
There she goes again.
And there goes Rosenbaum to take 2, and she will get there easily.
Chafin's had a little bit of trouble getting the ball out of the glove, but I don't think it would have made much difference in that case. Rosenbaum just had a really impressive jump on that one.
The 1-1 from Madsen to Pereira. Inside, ball 2 called, and now they are definitely keeping their eye on Rosenbaum, who got a halfway lead down to third but decides to come back to 2. She's in scoring position. She wants to put a run on the board here in this inning. The 2-1 from Madsen finds the zone. 2-2 now. She's battling. She deals. Inside, makes it a full count. Picked up by Chafin's the catcher. Now she is literally walking Rosenbaum back to 2.
This feels like, as early as it is in the game, kind of a do-or-die situation. If Madsen can get out of this cleanly, the momentum's going to stay in her favor, but there's a chance, if she can't do it, that the whole team's going to start to get a little stressed over it.
And there's a pop fly caught in the infield by the second baseman for the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays. It's Brandy Frederick for out number 1. Staying at 2 is Kendall Rosenbaum. So 1 out, 1 on in scoring position here in the top of the second. It is now Grace Shakaitis, the catcher, stepping into the box for her first appearance of the afternoon, and Madsen will deal. Inside ball called. She passed 8 pitches from what I am counting here. She had 8 in the first, now up to 11 unofficially is what I'm counting, unless you have something different.
I believe that was number 11. I think you're right.
So the 1-0 to Shakaitis.
And if I'm not mistaken, Shakaitis is only a catcher, a freshman starting as the catcher for this Satellites team.
No, you are correct. A freshman. This is her 60th plate appearance of the season. She's an average .480 at the plate.
Not going to lie, I kind of like saying that. Shakaitis.
It's a good name.
Shakaitis.
The 1-1.
Grace Chicago Shakaitis.
Well, and you called it correctly. I think head coach Tony Wallace said you're the first one that said it correctly. So kudos to you.
Well, I try. I try to make sure that get these ladies' names right.
2-1 from Madsen to Shakaitis. And it is a ball inside. 3-1 now. The Satellites still have a runner in scoring position on 2. It's Kendall Rosenbaum, and Grace Shakaitis is trying to bring her home, looking at a 3-1 here from Madsen. Swung on, back to Madsen. She catches it for out number 2, turns around, looking to throw back to 2 to get Kendall Rosenbaum out, but Rosenbaum gets back safely.
Pretty solid reflexes by Madsen there.
So now stepping in for the South Central Lady Satellites, it'll be Taylor Bachman, the third baseman. Bachman comes in today. She is a .273 batting average. It took me a minute to find it on the sheet there, but she takes the first pitch for a called strike. It's 0-1. Madsen really coming together.
Looks like Molly really painted the corner nicely with that one.
She deals the 0-1, swung on, popped up down the left field line, and it will go foul, out of play. And if Madsen, like you said, is able to get out of this inning,
I think it's going to be a really important morale booster for these Lady Jays and for Molly.
No, absolutely.
She might be the worst of all about getting in her own head when there's a little hiccup, and if she can survive this
and she
with a pitch like that.
Swing and a miss, and going down on the strikeout is Taylor Bachman. That is out number 3 with a runner left stranded in scoring position on second. We are still scoreless here at North Judson. A big-time inning there by the Lady Jays. We pause and come back. Bottom of the second coming your way. You're listening to KVB's WKVI.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, agriculture has been a cornerstone of our business for more than 135 years. Our personal relationships within the ag community run deep for multiple generations. If you're looking for a financial partner that knows, understands, and supports agriculture, I'd love to hear from you. I'm Isaac Blue, Ag Banker at First Farmers. Come into our Knox, North Judson, or Culver branches, or visit us online at ffbt.com when you're ready to talk about growing your operation. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Howard's Marathon of Winnemac, serving Pulaski County for 44 years. Call 574-946-6894. Ask for Howard or Dean. We thank them for supporting local high school sports and being part of this wonderful tradition. We go to the bottom of the second. The Lady Jays are up to bat. Scoreless here, 0-0. Lexi Johnson still in the circle for the South Central Lady Satellites, and she broke that career record there in the bottom of the first. Now she steps back in, and she will see
Molly Madsen coming to help herself out.
So, yeah, Molly Madsen will step into the batter's box. She comes into today a very, very good, let's see here, Molly Madsen at 312, her 42nd plate appearance of the season, and let's see if she can help herself out like Nathan just had mentioned here. Johnson will deal, foul tip, hits the fence, and right away Madsen says, I can swing here.
She just hit, I think, her third home run of the season on Saturday over in Newton County, and I'm really itching for her to hit one here at home so her dad can stop saying that I'm bad luck. 'Cause I don't think she's hit a single one here in North Judson this season.
1-1 now as the next pitch is up top. You know, I would say he's mistaken in that because I remember the North Judson-Knox battle last year where she did have a home run, and you were the announcer then in her freshman year. Maybe he's talking sophomore.
I don't. Yeah, it might be this year. I've just become bad luck for her.
Swing and a miss, strike two, as it's now 1-2 from Lexi Johnson to Molly Madsen. She will step and dig back in here. The 1-2 from Lexi Johnson. Swing and a miss, and going down, striking out is unfortunately Molly Madsen for out number one. But fortunately for the Satellites, that is another strikeout for, guess who? Lexi Johnson. We now see stepping in Virginia Chambers in the number 7 slot, the third baseman. Chambers comes in today, a .258 batting average, her 43rd appearance of the season. She will show bunt, and it is a strike. It just missed the barrel of the bat, and that will be strike number 1 from Lexi Johnson. Getting right to work here. The 0-1 from Johnson. But shown again. This time she gets contact, but it foul tips and hits the fence.
You know, that is one thing I appreciate about high school game is that we see a lot more of the small ball, the bunts and things like this than we see at the professional level. And I get it. When you can hit a home run at 400 feet, the bunt maybe isn't as glamorous, but I really like seeing some of these young ladies look for any way just scrounging to get on base like that.
Swing and a miss, and another strikeout for Lexi Johnson as Chambers goes down swinging for out number 2. We'll now see Emma Baxter step into the batter's box. Baxter, a senior on this Lady J softball team. This is her 29th appearance of the season at the plate. She averages a .208 on the year. Johnson will deal the first pitch, and it is a ball.
Little inside.
1-0 from Lexi Johnson to Emma Baxter. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the second. We're rolling right along here from North Judson. Swung on, popped up high. It could be fielded. No, it'll hit right in front of the dugout. First baseman for the South Central Lady Satellites, Marley Cavender, tried to get over there, but couldn't get it in time.
Yeah, I don't think she was interested in a hot date with the chain link fence.
That would have been she would have had to run into it. 1-1 from Johnson to Baxter. And it is a ball up top. Good eye there.
You know, it's probably not surprising that the first 5 outs that South Central has recorded have all been strikeouts.
As advertised.
And
swing and a miss for strike 2. But yes, Lexi Johnson is as advertised thus far into this ball game. Rightfully so. She puts in the work in the offseason. We know that. 2-2.
Number 6.
Swing and a miss. Another strikeout, and that is out number 3. Still scoreless here from North Judson. We pause and come back. Top of... Where are we?
Going into the top of the third.
Okay, we are going to the top of the third after this. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to KVB's WKVI.
Howard's Marathon in Winnemac has a reputation built on getting things done right. With 30 years' experience as an ASE Master Auto Technician, Dean Wentz is the right choice for the auto repairs or service. From auto computer diagnostic checks to new batteries and tires, they can take care of it all. Howard's Marathon is a proud supporter of area high school sports and wishes all teams a great season. Howard's Marathon, 121 South Monticello Street in Winnemac. Call 574-946-6894.
Today's game is sponsored in part by McGrath Refrigeration, a family-owned business since 1967, and your local Armstrong Air Dealer. Call them for all your heating and cooling needs at 574-772-3575. McGrath Refrigeration, where the temperature is always just right. We also thank Farm Fertilizer for sponsoring tonight's broadcast. Call them at 574-867-2441. That's Farm Fertilizer, helping to move the bar on yield and crop investment returns. We go to the top of the third. Still scoreless here as the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays are hosting the South Central Lady Satellites. Marley Cavender will step into the batter's box. Swing and popped up high, out of play. Foul ball from Molly Madsen. She starts off with a strike there. 0-1 the count.
And this game is really moving quickly. Both pitchers have, we saw both of them throw a few more extra pitches in the second.
Cavender's going to get a hold of one deep back to right field.
And that is over the fence and gone.
Huge home run for Marley Cavender. And just like that, the score changes 1-0. The South Central Lady Satellites lead here in the top of the third. A big-time jack to right field. And the entire South Central Lady Satellites empty the dugout to welcome Cavender home. The number 8 hitter, my goodness, she got all of it. And now we'll go to the number 9 hitter, Lainey Jenkins, the designated player. So Jenkins, she comes into today a .280 batting average. It's her 33rd plate appearance of the season. Madsen steps up to the bump. She's set to go. Strike called to Jenkins. As I said, .280 on the year, her 33rd appearance. But right before that, Cavender, .255 on the year. That was her 54th appearance. And that was her first home run of the season. So good job to Marley Cavender. And now back up to bat for Jenkins is a 1-2 here. Madsen to deal. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Out number 1. Here in the top of the third for Molly Madsen. So after giving up that big home run, she steps back into the circle and quite frankly just makes it happen. Gets that strikeout. That is a really quick turnaround for Madsen to get the strikeout after that home run.
That is an important recovery. In the immortal words of Taylor Swift, she just needed to shake it off.
Yes, she did. Well, you are feeling good today, man.
It is a beautiful day for softball, my friend. A beautiful day for softball.
We go back to the top of the batting order. We're having too much fun here from North Judson. Valerie Horn is back up to bat again as we go, like I said, at the top of the order. She is looking at a 1-1 count here from Madsen. The 1-1 swung on, popped up. Madsen will. Oh, she had it. It bobbles She throws to first, then it gets past the first baseman, and now I think it's an infield fly rule. Is that correct?
No, that's only applicable when there are people on base.
I see. So it will be standing in at first, Valerie Horn getting to first. And now Lexi Johnson, the pitcher, will step into the batter's box for her second plate appearance of the afternoon. Johnson, in her first plate appearance.
She popped out to Reagan Hensley at first base.
Madsen will deal. There goes Horn to take two. They throw down to the cutoff man, but not in time. It was thrown by the catcher, Sophia Chaffins, to Kenya Cooper. They couldn't get the tag, so now advancing to two is Valerie Horn. She's in scoring position, and Lexi Johnson steps back into the box for a 1-0 count. Strike called, and she shakes her head. Yep, that looked good. So now 1-1 here from Madsen to Lexi Johnson. 1-0, the Satellites lead. They had a big home run to start this inning with one out here and one in scoring position. They're trying to add to that. Next pitch offered outside, ball 2. 2-1 now the count from Molly Madsen to Lexi Johnson.
And Horn is feeling pretty aggressive out there at second base.
Ball up top. 3-1 now.
I wouldn't be surprised if she just goes right ahead and tries to take third base, hoping that Johnson connects on this one.
The 3-1. Chopper to second. It gets past the second baseman. It will bring Horn home, and standing in for an RBI single is Lexi Johnson. It's now 2-0. The Lady Satellites are putting some things together. Oh, no. One gets past the catcher. Now Johnson will advance to 2. So still an RBI single, but advances to 2 on error for Lexi Johnson. She puts herself in scoring position. So it took the first 2 innings to get out of the way, and now here we go to the third inning. The Satellites are now putting together something here. It's Tinley Werner, the number 3 hitter, fouling off, out of play. 0-1 the count. They're stringing together some runs here.
Yeah, there's no reason that Lexi Johnson should be on second base. That's just one of those situations where things start to crumble a little bit. The girls lose their heads and sloppiness reigns, and they've really got to get beyond that, focus on the batter, and try to get out of this inning with no more than 2 runs.
Next pitch hits the dirt. Chafin spins around and unfortunately allows Lexi Johnson to get to third, but fortunately for the Satellites, they have another run just at third, hoping to come home, and Warner wants to do that for Johnson. With 1 out, the 1-1 swung on, it gets through the third base and shortstop. Johnson will come home, and an RBI single for Tinley Werner. Here in the top of the third, the Satellites now lead 3-0. We'll now see the number 4 hitter, Kendall Rosenbaum.
Number 1, senior.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Rosenbaum, she comes in today, a .315 batting average. It's her 64th plate appearance of the season, second of the afternoon. First pitch is a called strike. So now behind in the count, she will step back in for the 0-1. Madsen to deal. Chopper right to third, throws over to first. They get out number 2. That does allow Warner to get to second, but a good job by the third baseman, Virginia Chambers, gloving it and getting it over to Reagan Hensley for out number 2.
Number 5 hitter.
So an opportunity here for the Lady Jays to potentially get out of this inning with allowing only 3 runs. They definitely don't want another run to cross, and Warner being in scoring position on second. It's Brooke Pereira, the right-handed hitter, going up against the right-handed pitcher in Molly Madsen, her second appearance of the afternoon.
She popped up to Frederick at second base her first time around.
Shows bunt, pulls at the last second, ball inside. This would be the time to strike for Madsen here. The 1-0. Chopper to short. Throw over to first. Out number 3, and the Jays get out of the inning, but 3 runs cross. 1 runner left stranded in scoring position. The South Central Satellites lead 3-0. We take a break and come back. Bottom of the third action coming your way. You're listening to KVB's WKVI.
It takes smart planning by a skilled expert to get you just the right heating, cooling, and energy-efficient system for your home. McGrath Refrigeration can install an affordable Armstrong air system that will cut your energy costs while enhancing your comfort. You'll see the difference in your first energy bill. Give McGrath Refrigeration, your local Armstrong dealer, a call today at 574-772-3575. That's 574-772-3575. McGrath Refrigeration, where the temperature is always just right.
Mark's Body Shop in Knox is proud to be part of the broadcast this evening. If you ever need collision repair, contact Mark at 574-772-7003. Hey, Mark told me they're hiring. Get your applications ready and turned in for consideration at Mark's Body Shop in Knox. We go to the bottom of the third. Mitch Columbia along with sports analyst Nathan Orger. 3 runs cross in the top of the third. The Satellites take the lead. It's now the Lady Jays' turn to try to get the bat swinging here.
Yeah, that was a couple of tough at-bats. Things just started to fall apart, but I think that Molly and the Jays, they recovered and could have been a lot more damage than 3. They got a chance to catch up here.
Well, we will see for the Lady Jays. Up the bat first, the number 9 hitter, Olivia Tim. Olivia Tim comes in today. She's a freshman, .393 batting average, her 39th plate appearance of the season.
You know, she didn't start the season off much in the starting lineup, but she has really impressed Coach Baxter as she has been called on, and grounding out to shortstop, not the greatest way to get a rally going, but she has been a pretty reliable addition to this Lady Jays offense.
So 1 pitch there for Lexi Johnson to start the bottom of the third. She gets 1 out off of it. So now back to the top of the batting order. Sophia Chaffins steps back into the box for her second plate appearance of the afternoon.
She struck out in the first after a decent at-bat, forced a foul ball and a couple of balls before Johnson finally rang her up.
Foul tip hits the fence for 0-1 now. Johnson really coming into her own here.
Olivia Tim was her first out of the game, not a strikeout recorded by Johnson.
That's saying something.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Next pitch, foul tip hits the fence again. 0-2 the count now, ahead in the count with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Lexi Johnson is coming into her own here, feeling very confident. Chaffins will step back in here and choke up on the bat. The 0-2 from Johnson. Swing and a miss. And going down on the strikeout is Sophia Chaffins. They're having a tough time getting up to speed to Lexi Johnson right now, as that's the second out here in the bottom of the third. We now will see Reagan Hensley, the first baseman, step up for her second plate appearance of the afternoon.
She struck out watching in the first.
First pitch offered. Outside, good eye there. Ball number 1.
Got to tell you, Mitch, I am not terribly disappointed that I'm here tonight and not at a county commissioners meeting down in Winnemac running that live stream.
You and me both, buddy. You and me both.
Weather's much nicer here than inside the highway garage.
Yeah. Swing and a miss for strike 1. I can't say much more than that. I still get paid to do news. Chopper down to third, picked up by short, throws over to first. She gets the out, and out number 3. My goodness, the shortstop, Valerie Horn, slings it over to first baseman Marley Cavender for out number 3.
Pretty impressive recovery after the third baseman Bachman deflected it. She picked it up and she launched it over there.
So that is how the third inning comes to a close. The South Central Satellites still lead 3-0. We pause and come back. Fourth inning action coming your way. You're listening to KVB's WKVI Sports.
The key to high-yielding crops is accurate and dependable soil testing. This is Andy Awald of Farm Fertilizers and Seeds. Having the right information to make the most profitable fertility decisions is what Image Services from Farm Fertilizers and Seeds is all about. We combine cutting-edge technology and computerized record-keeping with a common-sense approach to soil sampling and fertilizer recommendations. Whether it be by management zone for field-level applications or grid-based for variable rate applications, count on Image Services by Farm Fertilizers and Seeds for your soil service needs this fall.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Culver's Portside Marina. Spring is here. Get your boat serviced and ready for the summer. Godfrey Pontoons, Yamaha Wave Runners, and Kawasaki Jet Skis are on the showroom floor waiting. Slip rentals, boat storage, and self-service fuel pumps will all be available this summer at Bass Lake. Call them at 574-842-5000. That's Culver's Portside Marina. We go to the fourth inning. Mitch Columbia along with Nathan Orger. The South Central Satellites lead 3-0 here in North Judson. We now see Grace Shakaitis step back into the batter's box for her second plate appearance of the afternoon. She takes the first pitch for a called ball.
She rocked one right back to Madsen, who caught it on the line in the second inning.
The 1-0 from Madsen to Shakaitis is a ball low. So 2-0 the count now. Madsen behind in the count. She deals. Strike called.
I think Dan Ellenwood may have given Madsen a little bit of a favor on that one.
It was high.
But you know what? I think he's been pretty consistent in spreading the strike zone over there, so we'll take it.
Swung on the 2-1, popped up foul down the right field line. Trying to make a play on it was the right fielder, Olivia Tim, but just couldn't get there in time.
She hustles, though. Tim, she certainly runs it out.
2-2 from Madsen to Shakaitis. Chopper to short, throws over to first, and they get the out for out number one. A good job by Kenya Cooper getting it to first baseman of the Lady Jays, Reagan Hensley. And that's not the first time we've called those two names out. Very good defenders. Nice glove action there from the shortstop, Cooper. And then Hensley just to stretch out and make the easy out for out number one. We now see stepping into the box the number 7 hitter, Taylor Bachman, for her second appearance this afternoon. She takes ball one.
Bachman went down on 3 straight pitches in the second to end that inning. One of Madsen's better at-bats on the mound tonight.
She deals the 1-0. Swing and a miss for strike one, evening it up at 1-1 here. You just heard the first base coach for the South Central Satellites. Get your hands on it and drive it, and there she did. The next pitch offered. She gets a base hit as it drops right in front of the center fielder. So a good job there for number 13, Taylor Bachman of the South Central Lady Satellites, getting on base with 1 out, 1 on. Top of the fourth, we now see Marley Cavender for her second plate appearance of the afternoon.
She rocked one to right field to get things going.
And now she rocks one deep back to center field. It's a 2-run homer.
Wow. For
Marley Cavender. She got all of it. The center fielder knew immediately, and it's now 5-0. The Lady Satellites lead here. My goodness.
She has faced 3 pitches to hit 2 home runs.
That was her second home run of the afternoon.
Wow.
That is very, very impressive.
Stepping up to the plate.
So now the number 9 hitter, Lainey Jenkins, the designated player.
Lainey Jenkins.
And Molly Madsen will deal the first pitch. Swung on, popped down the left field line. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was her second home run of the afternoon.
You are correct. She took one to right field, right center the first time, and Left center this time.
I mean, you think of how long players wait to get one home run. She gets 2 in the same game. Would you say she's on cloud 9 or 10? I mean, she's got to be feeling pretty good.
I'm going to guess she might be on cloud 19.
19. I mean, she's got to be feeling good today. Swing, chopper to short, throw over to first. Cooper to the first baseman, Reagan Hensley. And again, they connect for another out. That is out number 2 here in the top of the 4th. Madsen still battling here as now we go back to the top of the batting order for the South Central Lady Satellites. It's Valerie Horn, the shortstop. This is her 3rd plate appearance of the afternoon.
Horn has popped out to the shortstop and reached on an error.
She dribbles one foul down the left field line. 0-1 the count now. Madsen trying to get out of this inning, only allowing 2 runs here. The 0-1 from Madsen. Swung on, popped up high, and it is gloved by Kenya Cooper, the shortstop, for out number 3. A runner left stranded on first, but 2 runs crossed for the South Central Lady Satellites. They lead 5-0. This is now the Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning 4th inning stretch. Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning is helping continue this wonderful tradition on KVB's WKVI. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give third-generation owner Brian Hammond a call at 574-936-4660. Serving the local area since 1936. Very much looking forward to seeing you this Wednesday, Brian, for the big-time historic battle between the Knox Lady Redskins and the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays. It's the 4th inning stretch, sponsored by Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort.
Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning is helping continue this wonderful tradition on KVB's WKVI. We appreciate them, as that was the Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning 4th inning stretch. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Mitch Columbia along with sports analyst Nathan Orger. We will now see number 24, Kenya Cooper, step into the box. She swings and misses for strike 1, and Lexi Johnson continues the dominance. She deals the next offered pitch. He checks down to the right field or infield umpire. He says she did go more than halfway on the swing, so that is strike number 2 for Kenya Cooper here. Next pitch offered. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 and out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Lexi Johnson, it's safe to say she is as advertised. My goodness, she is really having a heck of an afternoon right now. It's going to be quite interesting when Nathan is able to add these stats up here. It's going to be interesting when you add these stats up here a little bit later on to see how she's actually doing. I mean, my goodness. She deals right away to Anna Garbison. Strike 1. She is just coming at these Lady Jays and not thinking twice about it. Chopper to second, throws over to first, and they get out number 2. So a good job by the Satellite second baseman, Brooke Pereira, for getting that over to the first baseman, Marley Cavender, who's had a heck of a day swinging for out number 2. So the Satellites, while it took a couple of innings, these last 2 innings have been all Satellites. They are in control right now, as with 2 outs and nobody on, she deals to number 1, Brandy Frederick, the second baseman. A foul tip hits the fence.
Brandy struck out on 3 pitches in the first. If I recall correctly, she tried to check her swing, and Dan Ellenwood felt that she went all the way.
The 0-1 from Johnson to Frederick. Up top, ball called. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I've said that a lot this afternoon. But correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Frederick or Frederick?
I've
heard you say both.
I don't know. It's just however it kind of rolls out of my mouth.
The 1-1 is swung on right to the shortstop, and they get out number 3. 3 up and 3 down for the Lady Jays. A good job by the shortstop, Valerie Horn, getting it over to Marley Cavender for out number 3, as that is the 4th inning. We take a break and come back. Top of the 5th action coming your way. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac is proud to be part of the broadcast this afternoon. Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack provides all your printing, screen printing, apparel, and embroidery needs. Call 574-946-3551 and ask for Tina if you want to look cool like the KVB crew. We appreciate them and their support toward helping continue the tradition. 5-0. The South Central Lady Satellites lead the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays. Time is of the essence. The Lady Jays will have some work to do when they get back up to bat, but it all starts here on the defensive end. Now they will have to go up against the 2, 3, and 4 hitter. It's Lexi Johnson stepping into the batter's box for her, I believe, 3rd plate appearance of the afternoon. She will take the first pitch from Molly Madsen, a ball up top.
I owe Molly Madsen an apology. Her mother is listening, hi Nikki, and has informed me that she actually had her first home run of the year here at home. So I might not.
See, you're not bad luck.
I might not be bad luck.
Johnson pops one up high, back to center field. It was almost gloved by the center fielder. It drops through. Oh my goodness, Johnson is turning for 3, and she will get to 3rd. How would you score that?
Oh, that's an E8. I mean, Garbison had to run for it, but that was in her arms, and she just lost it.
Really wonderful move there by Lexi Johnson to turn the Jets on and get rounded around 2-3. So now she has put herself in scoring position on 3rd. It is now Tinley Werner stepping in, who I believe already has an RBI on the afternoon.
Yeah, I think on her fielder's. No, I'm sorry. You were correct. She drove in Valerie Horn.
She pops one up high, back to center field. This time it is gloved by the center fielder. That is Anna Garbison. She tries to get it home in time, but it is not. And crossing home plate is Lexi Johnson for another crossed run for the Satellites. It's now 6-0. The Lady Satellites lead the Lady Jays 6-0.
Number 1, senior center fielder, Kendall.
Now stepping into the box is number 1 for the South Central Lady Satellites, Kendall Rosenbaum. She swings on the first offered pitch. It goes back to left field, and it is gloved by the left fielder for the Lady Jays. That is Emma Baxter for out number 2. So nobody on, 2 outs. Top of the 5th, the Lady Satellites lead 6-0, and now Brooke Pereira will come in and step up the bat for her 3rd plate appearance of the afternoon. She takes the first pitch for a ball.
And Pereira has popped out to Frederick at second base and grounded out to Cooper at shortstop.
The 1-0 from Madsen to Pereira. Swung on over the head of the shortstop, and it will be a base hit for Brooke Pereira as she gets on base. Good for her. Now we will see the number 6 hitter, Grace Shakaitis, the catcher for her third appearance of the afternoon.
The South Central catcher.
We mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Shakaitis coming into today a very impressive 480 batting average. My goodness, a 480 batting average coming into today as a freshman. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is. Madsen has held her at bay thus far. She's lined to Madsen and grounded to short. And Pereira takes a stolen base to second there.
Yeah, ball gets into the dirt. Chafin's tried to get it to 2, but not in time, and Pereira is standing in scoring position for the Lady Satellites here in the top of the 5th with 2 outs. 6-0, the Satellites lead. They're hoping to add to this lead here. As Shakaitis steps back in, swings on the 1-0. It gets through, back to center field, a grounder, and it will bring all the way home Brooke Pereira. So an RBI single goes to Grace Shakaitis. The Satellites are really coming into their own right now. It took a couple of innings like we had mentioned.
Number 13.
But since scoring those runs just 2 innings ago, they've really opened the lid. And it looks like there is a courtesy runner here.
Is serving as the courtesy runner.
So a courtesy runner for the Satellites.
For catcher Grace Shakaitis.
It is number 3, Peyton Swanson. So the courtesy runner on first. This is number 13, Taylor Bachman stepping in. Next pitch offered, gets past Chaffins, and advancing to 2 easily is the courtesy runner, Peyton Swanson. Swanson, a junior on this Lady Satellite team. Standing in at 2 now in scoring position with 2 outs. The 1-0 from Madsen. Down the left field line and out of play. 1-1 now. Bachman, a .273 batting average on the year. This is her 57th appearance of the season, her 3rd this afternoon. She swings and misses on the next pitch, making it 1-2 here. So this is the time that Madsen could make it happen and get him out of the inning. The 1-2. Ball up top, trying to get her to chase, but no.
Yeah, Molly really needs to lock in and get this done. 5th inning, Lady Jays are running out of chances, and each additional run that the Satellites put on the board is going to make it that much tougher.
Next pitch up top for a ball. It's now a full count for Molly Madsen to Taylor Bachman. The payoff. Finds the zone and going down, looking, striking out is Taylor Bachman. The Lady Jays get out of the inning, but runs cross. It's 7-0. The South Central Lady Satellites lead the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays. We come back, bottom of the 5th action. Up next, you're listening to WKVI.
BP gasoline with Invigorate helps clean your engine and can give you more miles per tank. Continuous use may result in the following pleasant side effects: excessive smiling, feeling more relaxed, taking more drives just because, volunteering for carpool twice in a row, and bragging to your friends about how you use our best fuel ever. To find out if BP gasoline with Invigorate is right for you, stop by your local station to discover our best fuel ever. Versus minimum detergent gas. Average restored 3 to 5 miles per tank, based on fleet testing and based on what you drive and how you drive.
High school sports brought to you by Zingo Express.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Todd and Josh Lawrence of Lawrence Farms. We certainly thank Todd and Josh Lawrence for supporting local high school sports. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Mitch Columbia along with Nathan Orger. The South Central Satellites have really had their way this afternoon, but it has not been a lack for effort for the Lady Jays. They are very, very good. They're fighting through this adversity right now. They knew coming into today facing the Satellites would only make them better, but they are not giving up. These Lady Jays are giving everything they have, and we now see Molly Madsen step into the box for her 2nd plate appearance of the afternoon. You can just tell the grittiness that the Lady Jays have. It doesn't feel like a 7-0 game.
It really doesn't. They've made a couple of errors that have been costly, but They are keeping in this game better than the scoreboard makes it look like right now, for sure.
2-0 to Madsen, very patient right now. She steps back in, and Johnson will deal. It finds the inside portion of the plate for strike one. So now a 2-1 count from Lexi Johnson to Molly Madsen. The 2-1. Big hit.
That really
Gets
found the gap
through.
there.
And it will be a base hit for Molly Madsen. She gets on base.
You like to see them taking it the other side that way.
Got right through between the first baseman and the second baseman. And now we will see up to bat Virginia Chambers, the number 7 hitter. This is her second plate appearance of the afternoon. It looks like there will be a courtesy runner for Molly Madsen. This is number 16, Kayla Chambers. So Kayla Chambers, the freshman, will be the courtesy runner here.
I've actually seen her step in onto the rubber for Molly in that Oregon Davis game last week. She's young, but she has got some talent in the circle, and I think she brings a little bit of speed to the bases.
Now, is this the second time we're going through the Lady Jays batting order?
Yes.
So this is Chambers' second appearance.
Yes, she struck out in the second.
She shows bunt, foul tip over the fence, out of play, making it 0-1 now. They are trying to get Chambers, the courtesy runner, at first home.
And we saw Virginia Chambers trying to bunt her way on her previous at-bat. Looks like she still has small ball in mind.
Yep, and in order to get her home, they've got to put her on second. They show bunt again. It gets past the catcher, and it will get Chambers in scoring position. So they are one step closer to bringing her home as she now stands in on second base. It's a 1-1 count here from Lexi Johnson to Virginia Chambers. Johnson checks the pitch on her wrist. Now she deals. Bunt shown again, and it'll go foul down the right field line. You can see the Lady Jays are trying a little bit of everything just to get on base here.
Sometimes you got to be scrappy, Mitch. You find a way to get on base, you make it happen, and you convert.
And you see Lexi Johnson. She's got the ball in that right hand. She's just spinning it up, very confident. Cool, calm, and collected.
She has every right to be feeling that way at this point in today's game.
She deals the 1-2. Check swing. He checks with the infield umpire. He says she is safe. So it makes it 2-2 now, the count. Good eye there by Virginia Chambers. And I assume the courtesy runner, Kayla Chambers, may be of relation.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're sisters or cousins, but
They
are cousins. Thank you, our experts here in the box with us, for filling us on the intel, spilling the tea.
Taylor Lehigh, we appreciate her information there. Goes to school here at North Judson-San Pierre. It's a full count to Virginia Chambers, and the payoff pitch from Lexi Johnson. Foul tip, staying alive. A little bit of a duel here between Chambers and Johnson. Bottom of the fifth, 7-0, the Satellites lead here. The payoff. Up top, and she will walk Virginia Chambers. So very patient at the plate is Virginia Chambers. So the cousins are on base for the Jays, one of them in scoring position. And now we will see the left fielder, Emma Baxter, step into the batter's box for her second appearance of the afternoon. Chambers. First pitch offered, showed bunt. Called strike. She didn't pull it back enough in time, so now she is behind the count. 0-1 here from Lexi Johnson.
Got Baxter up to bat, and we got Chambers and Chambers, attorneys at law on the bases.
I like that. I said Cousins on the bases, but I like yours better. Bunt popped up, gloved by the catcher, throws down to first, double play happens. Virginia just was on her way to second, and when the catcher for the South Central Lady Satellites, Grace Shakaitis, caught it, she knew exactly what to do. Slings it down to Marley Cavender for the double play. So now for the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays right fielder Olivia Tim, trying to bring at least one run home here, is 1 on, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Tim will step in here, trying to bring courtesy runner Kayla Chambers, the freshman, home. Slap hit shown, swing and a miss, strike 1. The slap hit is something we see from time to time. I want to say last year I saw it a lot. I haven't seen it as much this year.
I haven't seen much of it except for Olivia Tim here, who has really sort of honed in on this style of batting.
We see it from the Winnemac Lady Warriors from time to time. But here's Olivia Tim, holds the slap hit this time. She's literally running towards the pitch as it's coming and swinging while she's running. That is what I guess is what we're considering a slap hit, I guess, Nathan?
Yeah.
As she slap hits down the left field line, foul, making it 1-2 here. But it's very interesting to watch it. She will start towards the back of the box and run towards the pitch as it is being thrown by Lexi Johnson. And she decides on the run whether she will swing or not. Johnson deals the 1-2. Foul tip, barely hit the edge of the barrel. If that missed, it would have been another strikeout for Lexi Johnson. With 2 outs, she wants to leave.
Yeah, with Tim's motion in the batter's box, that might have been a pretty close play on the drop third strike.
She will deal the 1-2 here. Gets a piece of it.
And Coach Baxter with a nice one-handed grab.
Smart by him. Nice little athletic play, too. Showing off the cat-like reflexes there. Gary Baxter still got it, man. It's your buddy. How'd you announce him? What'd you say?
One of the first bandmates I ever had.
Swing and a miss, but it gets past the catcher, and they will throw down to first for the 3rd out. So that is how the 5th inning ends. A runner left stranded, no runs crossed for the Lady Jays. They trail 7-0. It's all Lady Satellites. We pause and come back. Top of the 6th on the way.
It takes smart planning by a skilled expert to get you just the right heating, cooling, and energy-efficient system for your home. McGrath Refrigeration can install an affordable Armstrong air system that will cut your energy costs while enhancing your comfort. You'll see the difference in your first energy bill. Give McGrath Refrigeration, your local Armstrong dealer, a call today at 574-772-3575. That's 574-772-3575. McGrath Refrigeration, where the temperature is always just right.
Zingo Express of Knox is a proud sponsor of tonight's action. Stop by Zingo Express in Knox and fuel up both you and your vehicle the Zingo Express way. Collins Insurance is part of the broadcast, taking care of all your insurance needs. Jim Collins told me to tell you, call him anytime at 574-772-6844. That's Collins Insurance, supporting local high school sports. We go to the top of the 5th. Top of the 6th? Top of the 6th. Mitch Columbia along with sports analyst Nathan Orger. They didn't update the scoreboard quite yet, so I thought if we were still in the 5th inning, I knew that was wrong. But we go to the 6th inning. The South Central Lady Satellites lead 7-0 over the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays. It looks like we will see a new pitcher in the circle for the Lady Jays.
Yep, we've got Kayla Chambers, who came in to run last inning, sticking in the game to take over on the rubber for Madsen.
So Madsen will pitch through full 4 innings here, or 5 innings, of 5 full innings. We are now in the 6th inning here at North Judson-San Pierre, and we will see Kayla Chambers, the freshman come in here. It looks like Chambers has a 4.2 ERA. She has pitched 11.2 innings up to this point. She is also 1-0 on the year. And
Cavender has continued her hot streak in this game with a double to right center on the first pitch.
Wasn't even able to set up who was up the bat, but you could tell by the sound it is, of course, Marley Cavender continuing her great job at the plate today. She now just got a double, as now we will see Lainey Jenkins, number 14 for the South Central Lady Satellites, Taylor Cleek, the junior.
Now batting, number 14, Taylor Cleek.
First pitch offered in the dirt, gets past Chaffins. That allows number 19, Marley Cavender, to get to third. So right away, with no outs to start the top of the sixth, the Satellites are able to get a runner on third.
So Cleek has been in left field all game, and she is hitting this inning for Jenkins, the designated player.
She'll step back in with a 1-0 count here. Cleek comes into today a .222 batting average, her 24th plate appearance of the season. She has 3 RBIs on the year and an opportunity to add to that here as she swings and foul tips the next offered pitch, evening it up at 1-1. The 1-1. Swing and a miss by Cleek for strike 2. No outs, 1 on. Top of the 6th, the Jays are trying to fight back in this game. It'll be up to the bottom of the 6th and then the bottom of the 7th for them to do so. The 1-2 hits the dirt, gets past Chaffins, and it looks like Cavender will stay at bay on 3. 2-2 now the count. Cleek being patient, wants to add to that RBI stat we mentioned a moment ago here. The 2-2, swing and a miss, and Cleek will go down swinging for out number 1. So Kayla Chambers comes in for relief and is able to get the first strikeout tonight for her, and that is out number 1 after allowing Marley Cavender, who's had a heck of a day, to get to second, and then Marley Cavender is able to get to third, and now we see stepping into the box Valerie Horn for her. How many is this?
This is her 4th plate appearance.
4th plate appearance already this afternoon. She takes the first pitch for a ball, swings on the next offered pitch, misses, evens up at 1-1. She'll step back in. Chambers to deal, the 1-1. Popped up down the left field line, and it is gloved by the third baseman for the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays, number 11, Virginia Chambers, and that is out number 2.
Now batting the pitcher.
So now Lexi Johnson back up the bat for her 4th appearance of the afternoon. Lexi Johnson doing a little bit of everything here this afternoon.
She has been impressive. She has scored twice, once after getting on an error, once after getting on a single, and I don't need to tell you how dominant she has been on the mound today.
She's trying to bring Marley Cavender home here on third. 1-0 count. Next pitch offered from Kayla Chambers is up top for ball 2 here with 2 outs, 1 on. Chambers is trying to take down Johnson here. She'll step back in, the 2-0. Swung on, popped up high, back to right field, and it is gloved by the right fielder, Olivia Tim, for out number 3. Marley Cavender left stranded on third. No runs crossed. The score stays 7-0. The South Central Satellites lead. We will be back after this timeout.
Have you ever wondered how much I could sell my vehicle for? Well, Auto Park Chevrolet GMC can help with that. We're looking to buy your vehicle. It is a quick, simple process that puts money in your pocket. Stop by the Auto Park on Oak Road for one of our sales professionals to assess your vehicle and have a cash price for you in moments. If you're looking to trade, we have stacks of inventory for you to choose from, or you can walk away with a check in hand. Don't hassle with listing on Marketplace or waiting forever to sell it privately. Let us make you an offer today. Auto Park Chevrolet GMC. Check us out at www.autoparkchevroletbuickgmc.com or call 574-936-5590 or come to see us next to Walmart in Plymouth.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Nepco Crane and Equipment Services, specializing in mobile crane service. Call my good friend Joe Snep at 1-800-590-2272 for all your residential, commercial, and agricultural crane needs. We go to the bottom of the sixth. South Central leads the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays 7-0. Lexi Johnson having a heck of an afternoon. She is hoping to have a complete game here. We will see number 22 for the Lady Jays back to the top of the batting order. Sophia Chaffins step into the batter's box for her third plate appearance of the afternoon. Been so lucky to be joined by our sports analyst Nathan Orger, who is also, he's double duty right now. He is the public address announcer for the Lady Jays, and it looks like there will be a substitution. He had yelled it up here, number 27 for I'm not sure who.
Turn your volume down, that's what he said.
They're trying to get this through here and figure out what the exact substitution is. The home plate umpire is writing it in his book. It looks like it's maybe 27 here.
Yes, number 27. No, that's still
Shakaitis. Well, we'll get there when we get there. So stepping in is Sophia Chaffins. First pitch offered from Lexi Johnson. Swing and a miss, strike one. The Lady Jays will have a lot of work to do here in the bottom of the sixth. It'd be ideal to at least get some runs, if not one run, across here. As Chaffins pops one up foul out of play, hits the South Central Satellites dugout.
It looks like number 28, Emily Castle, is now playing second base, where number 7, Brooke Pereira, had previously been playing.
Thank you for your due diligence. That helps us out tremendously here. As now the 0-1 from Johnson to Chaffins. Hits the dirt, gets past Shakaitis. Evens up here at 1-1. Johnson to deal. You can hear the dugout chants. Swing and a miss. As that will be going down swinging. Unfortunately, Sophia Chaffins, it was a 1-2 count. So that was strike number 3 and out number 1. We will now see Reagan Hensley, the first baseman, step up to the bat. Her third plate appearance of the afternoon. Johnson going right to work. Outside, just misses for ball 1. Next pitch. Outside, ball 2. You can tell these Satellites are very good. They've been tested this season, coming in at 17-2. But those tests were only those 2 losses. Every other game, they've really had their way.
And we have seen today, I think, why that has been the case. They are just they're in unison as a team. They're all making smart plays, and Lexi Johnson, I think, is probably the best pitcher I've seen all season.
Yes, she is proving to be exactly what head coach Tony Wallace has talked about her. on the Saturday Sports Line. And here's a swing and a miss. It hits the dirt. Hensley will try to get to first, but not in time as Shakaitis gets it down for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting the shortstop, number 20.
We're going to see Kenya Cooper up to bat for her 3rd time this afternoon.
Kenya has singled to center and struck out.
So an opportunity here for her. With 2 outs to get on base, the Jays need a rally here. That's unless Lexi Johnson has something to say about it, and a swing and a miss for strike 1. They just can't quite time her. The way she comes at these batters, it's just been frustrating for them just to get any sort of contact. As there's the next offered pitch, a strike, low and inside. 0-2 now the count. Trying to get out of this inning yet again. And she does. Swing and a miss. It'll get past Shakaitis. She'll throw down to first, and it is in time for out number 3. So, quick work for Lexi Johnson here in the top of the 6th. We pause. Bottom of the 6th action coming your way. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's top of the 7th is coming your way. My goodness, it's been that kind of day, folks. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to KVB's WKVI.
Culver's Portside Marina handles all water and recreational needs. When it comes to pontoons, Godfrey leads the industry in performance and quality, and Portside Marina has them in stock. From Sanpan, Aqua Patio, Sweetwater, and Monaco pontoons, if you're looking for a family boat, Culver's Portside Marina can help. Discover the evolution of the wake boat through luxury models offered from Centurion and Supreme Surf Boats. Yamaha Wave Runners and Kawasaki jet skis are on the showroom floor waiting. Located at 514 West Mill Street in Culver. Stop in or call them at 574-842-5000. Culver's Portside Marina.
Back in North Judson, Mitch Columbia along with sports analyst Nathan Orger. We go to the 7th inning. 7-0, the South Central Lady Satellites lead the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays. You are listening to IHSAA Girls Softball action on KVB's WKVI. Bringing all the entertaining atmosphere here in North Judson, Indiana. We are so glad to be continuing this tradition. We hope you are enjoying your afternoon of softball action here on WKVI. As the first batter up to bat for the South Central Lady Satellites is Peyton Swanson as she swings and misses for strike 1 from Kayla Chambers, who is in relief for Molly Madsen. Next pitch offered is a foul tip, hits the fence by Peyton Swanson. 0-2 the count now for Kayla Chambers. It'll all be up to the bottom of the 7th for the Lady Jays to hopefully either tie it or take the lead and win. Well, 7 runs is pretty tough, but we'll see. Next pitch offered hits the dirt inside for ball 1. 1-2 now the count from Kayla Chambers to Peyton Swanson. Next pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3, gets past Chaffins, but she picks it up and throws it down to Reagan Hensley at 1 for out number 1. So that is Swanson going down, and now stepping up, the cleanup hitter, number 1, Kendall Rosenbaum. So she will step in, and Chambers will deal. Swings on the first pitch offered, fouled out of play. How many appearances is this for her this afternoon?
This is her 4th trip to the plate. She has walked, grounded it into a 5-3 fielder's choice, and flown out to left field.
The 0-1 from Chambers. Inside, hits the dirt. Ball 1. One count here from Kayla Chambers to Kendall Rosenbaum. She gets a hold of one. Line drive to the shortstop, couldn't get the catch. And she will just throw it right back to Kendall Chambers. She didn't want to risk anything. That was number 24, the shortstop, Kenya Cooper, on the play. Almost had the out, but it came at her so fast you can't really fault her for that. So that is standing on base at first, Kendall Rosenbaum. And now we will see number 28, Emily Castle, for her first plate appearance of the afternoon. There goes the runner at 2. Shortstop tries to underhand throw to second, but not in time. They didn't even get it to first. They were going for the double play, but it didn't work, and that advances Swanson to 2. Or no, excuse me, Rosenbaum to 2, and this is Emily Castle on first with a single.
Now batting, the South Central catcher.
Potentially by error, depending on how you would really kind of put that stat down. But 2 on, 1 in scoring position for the Satellites. Next pitch offered, swung on and hit right to the shortstop, Kenya Cooper. She gets it to third for out number 1, as that was the advancing runner. For out number 2, my apologies. That was the advancing runner, Kendall Rosenbaum. So now on second, it is Emily Castle, and on first is number 27. That was who just hit a moment ago, Grace Shakaitis. So Taylor Bachman swings on the first offered pitch. It is a foul ball out of play, making it 0-1 count here. With 2 outs, 2 on, 1 in scoring position. The top of the 7th, swing and a miss by number 13, Taylor Bachman. Now 0-2 the count. Kayla Chambers trying to get out of this inning without allowing any runs. She deals the 0-2. It's popped up high and foul out of play. Bachman steps back in, the 0-2. Swung on, foul down the left field line. A little bit of a duel here between Bachman and Chambers.
Yeah, and I think Chambers is really kind of controlling this at bat. You're seeing everything that she gets, Bachman is pulling. And she's pulling it just a little too far.
Next pitch up top, ball called. 1-2 the count now. She'll step back in here with 2 outs. Chambers trying to get out of the inning. She deals. Swing and a miss, and she does, as that is out number 3. It'll be all up to the bottom of the 7th for the Lady Jays to make something happen, but we're here for it. Don't go anywhere. Bottom of the 7th coming your way. You're listening to KVB's WKVI.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
We thank the Stark County Co-op, your local agricultural cooperative that offers an array of service and support, including grain, agronomy, seed, fuel, and LP Petroleum. Call 574-867-2411 to contact the Stark County Co-op. Finally, today's broadcast is brought to you in part by 5 Star. We thank them for supporting local high school sports and remind you to shop local. That's 5 Star in the Knox Mall. Bottom of the 7th, it's all up to the Lady Jays to make something happen. They trail the South Central Lady Satellites 7-0. It's been all Lexi Johnson and Marley Cavender. Couldn't think of her name there for a second, but my goodness, Marley Cavender has had a heck of a day between her and Lexi Johnson. It's really a toss-up between those two players. Lexi Johnson really taking care of business in the circle, not allowing any runs. And then at this point, obviously, Marley Cavender, 2 home runs on the day, also a double. She has just been in control when it comes to swinging the bat, but also Lexi Johnson in the circle. I'm not sure. I believe they've had a hit. The Jays have had a hit.
Yes.
So she's not on the verge of a no-hitter, but she is on a complete game shutout verge, as here is a swing down to third, throws over to first for out number 1.
Anna almost outran that. I will note that Peyton Swanson, number 3, stays in the game in right field. She batted for Tenley Werner in the top half.
Thank you for catching us up on that, as that was Anna Garbison getting a hit down the third base line. The third baseman for the South Central Lady Satellites, Taylor Bachman, gloves it and throws it over to first, doing the splits. Marley Cavender gets the out. I mean, my goodness, this Satellite team is well-oiled, as now we will see number 1 for the Lady Jays, Brandy Frederick, take the strike for the first pitch.
Brandy's bat has been silenced today. She came in the top OBP. She is struck out and grounded to short.
Next pitch offered, a ball.
She is not alone, though, in her silence.
Next pitch from Johnson. Pitched the entire game up to this point. Swing and a miss by Frederick for strike 2. 1-2 the count now. Next pitch from Johnson. And it is a called strike, and going down looking is Brandy Frederick for out number 2, and now it's all up to number 16 of the North Judson-San Lady Blue Jays, Kayla Chambers, the freshman, to try to get something going here in the bottom of the 7th. The Lady Jays haven't been able to bring 1 run across today. It would now be the time for Chambers to make something happen here with 2 outs and nobody on in the bottom of the 7th. She takes the first pitch for a called strike.
You know, Mitch, if I'm reading my book correctly based on my scoring of the game, the Lady Jays have been held to 2 hits.
Whew. My goodness. Lexi Johnson, the 0-1 strike called. 0-2 now.
Tried to check her swing, could not do it.
So now, here it is. The 0-2. Will Johnson do it? She does. Strike 3 called, out number 3, and that is a complete game. A shutout for Lexi Johnson. She only allowed 2 hits the entire ball game. My goodness, this is going to be very hard to pick the Stark County Co-op play of the game, as well as our Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game. But that's what we're here for, and we are going to take a break and come back for the Collins Insurance post-game show. For sports analyst Nathan Orger, I'm Mitch Columbia. The South Central Satellites beat the North Judson-San Lady Blue Jays 7-0. We take a break and come back. The Collins Insurance post-game show is next.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Welcome to the Collins Insurance Agency's post-game show.
7-0 is the final as the South Central Lady Satellites take down the North Judson-San Lady Blue Jays. The Satellites go to 18-2 on the year. The Lady Jays go to 8-7. Big win for the Satellites. Had some very, very outstanding play from outstanding individuals we will talk about in a moment. But I turn things over to our sports analyst here, Nathan Orger. First things first, buddy, you did it.
I did. And, you know, I feel like this was both a really tough and really good game to try this. It was difficult because this was such a fast-paced game.
It was fast-paced.
But it did make me stay on top of things, really stay on my toes.
I told you could handle it.
I think I did all right.
I thought you did well. But all in all, I said right before we went to break, you were giving the goodbye on the for the public address announcing. But I said this on the air. You didn't hear it, of course, but I did say it is going to be tough to pick our Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game. I mean, Lexi Johnson and Marley Cavender both had amazing performances for the Satellites. But we've got our work cut out for us.
We do indeed. We really do.
It's really going to be crazy. But all in all, Nathan, give us your overall opinion on this game today.
You know, Lady Jays had a couple of instances where Madsen, gave up a few hits, a few runs at a time. They had some defensive flubs that did not help the cause. But as I said earlier in the game, I think the Lady Jays were more competitive than the scoreboard shows. It's just a really, really good South Central team that they face. And I think that, well, obviously they did not play up to the competition enough. They did step up their game tonight and put their heart and everything they had into these determined and dominant Satellites.
Well, and let's just say this. We mentioned this earlier on in the broadcast. It took a couple innings before the Satellites really were able to handle Molly Madsen,
It was the third inning with that Cavender home run before, so almost through the entire lineup before they started things, and they just didn't look back after that home run.
Well, a big win for the South Central Lady Satellites, 7-0 as they beat the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays here in North Judson. We will take a break and come back for our Stark County Co-op play of the game. That's next. This is the Collins Insurance postgame show, and you are listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Browns. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
It's time for the Stark County Co-op play of the game. Let's return to the voice of WKVI Sports, Mitch Columbi.
Well, it is time for our Stark County Co-op play of the game as the South Central Satellites take care of business against the Lady Jays of North Judson-San Pierre, 7-0. In your opinion, what is our Stark County Co-op play of the game?
I think if we look at the scoreboard, we look at the scorebook and see how productive the entire lineup was for South Central and see where things started, as we were discussing off the air. It started in the third inning. Molly Madsen kept the Satellites at bay for the first two innings, and it was the number 8 hitter, Marley Cavender, the first baseman, who jolted, absolutely bombed a home run to right center, and they put 6 more runs on after that, but that was all they needed.
Opened a can of worms.
I think we're going to call Marley Cavender's first of 2 home runs,
my goodness,
the play of the game.
Well, congratulations to Marley Cavender's big-time home run, if I'm not mistaken, down back to right field, if I'm remembering
correctly. You are
correctly.
correct. She went to right field with that first one, kind of right center, and left center her second one.
Well, that is our Stark County Co-op play of the game. Stay tuned. Our Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game is up next.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort.
Time to announce the Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game. Mitch?
Appreciate you, John. It's time now for our Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game. given in memory of Ashley Derrickson, a 2008 graduate of North Judson-San High School who battled cancer throughout her high school career before losing that battle on December 12th of 2008. We'll tell you who's earned that honor after this word from 5 Star.
5 Star, the largest meat and grocery store in the area, focused on quality, value, and customer service. The 5 Stars in the name of the store come from 5 family members of the original owners serving in World War II, each one represented by a blue star on a flag hanging in the front window of the family home. That's why even decades later, 5 Star is known for its dedication to service. Now that dedication means savings for you. 5 Star, one of the We Care stores, the area's largest meat and grocery store, focused on quality, value, and customer service. Located, you know where, in the Knox Mall.
Our Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game.
Oh, wow, Mitch. That is really a tough one. We just talked about what a contributor Marley Cavender was. And on any other given day, I probably would have awarded it to 2 co-players of the game. But Lexi Johnson scored twice, and she managed to pitch one of the best games I have seen all year. 14 strikeouts, including 3 innings where all 3 outs in the inning were strikeouts. 92 pitches, 14 Ks, no runs, 2 walks, 2 hits. And on top of that, she set a school record. So while Marley Cavender is pretty deserving, I think given
the situation,
everything, it's got to be Lexi Johnson. Congratulations, Lexi Johnson, Ashley Derrickson, player of the game.
Wow. Well, congratulations to her. Quite a performance in the circle. Very tough to decide there, but hey, that's why we pay you the big bucks.
Is that so?
Well, KVB Sports will be right back in action Wednesday to see the historic rivalry between the Knox Lady Redskins and the North Judson-San Lady Blue Jays. We will be going live this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, right here on 99.3 FM and streaming throughout the world on WKVI.com. We also remind you, join us each weekend throughout the school year for the Saturday Sports Line. That's the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to our very own Harold Welter. We always have several of our area head coaches on hand as we go live at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central on 99.3 FM and online at WKVI.com. If you miss the Saturday Sports Line, if you ever miss the Saturday Sports Line, don't worry. We remind you of the Saturday Sports Line replay every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. We also invite you to follow us on social media. We are on Instagram at WKVI Sports, on X, formerly Twitter at KVB Sports, and on Facebook at Sports to the Max for all Kankakee Valley Broadcasting sports content. Final word from you this evening, Nathan.
Well, we knew we were going to come in and see a dominant performance by South Central, and we did. As the home PA guy, I was hoping for a little better performance from my Lady Jays. But as a fan of baseball and softball, I really enjoyed what we saw. Like I said, the Lady Jays' effort was stronger than the final score shows. And honestly, the Satellites, they just put on a softball clinic. It's a beautiful day for softball. It was a really good game to watch. And I am looking forward to seeing what both of these teams have in store for them the rest of the season as we get closer to sectional time.
If we were to give a Broadcaster of the Day award away, it would definitely be Nathan Origer. The fact that we were able to juggle you being the PA announcer as well as color commentator, this was a lot of fun. I was scared. I'm honestly a little scared at how well it went. Are we that good?
I am not going to answer that. I will let the listeners decide. But I appreciate the support.
Broadcaster of the Day, Nathan Origer. As from all of us here at KVB, we thank you for listening to Indiana High School Softball. Our final in this one saw the South Central Lady Satellites beat the North Judson-San Lady Blue Jays 7-0. For our sports analyst, Nathan Origer, our in-game announcer, John Thompson, I am Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues. We are Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Thank you for listening to Indiana High School Softball on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Sponsored in part by Culver's Portside Marina, NEPCO, Crane and Equipment Services, Farm Fertilizers, First Farmers Bank and Trust, Lawrence Farms, Mark's Body Shop in Knox, Zingo Express, Pulaski Memorial Hospital, Stark County Co-op, The Auto Park with locations in LaPorte, Plymouth, and Bremen, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Collins Insurance, Howard's Marathon of Winnemac, and 5 Star. We'd like to thank our sponsors for their dedication in supporting local high school sports and helping continue the tradition on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.